Hey, what's goody, Fry gang? Now, I was thinking about the deep cut idols, and I was wondering why Big Man isn't as popular as Shiver and Frye. And I think I figured it out, and there's a couple reasons. Because you always hear people talking about Shiver and Frye, no one really ever mentions Big Man. Although there are Big Man fans out there, I feel like they pale in comparison to Shiver and Frye. And there's many reasons, just for the very nature of Big Man himself, down to Splatfests. But I'm not gonna get into the whole Splatfest thing because I learned that Splatfests are like politics. All right, it's very controversial. Splatfests are the politics of Splatoon, but I feel like one reason is that Big Man, he's a third idol, and this kind of plays into my second point. He's a third idol. Now, we've been used to only having two idols this entire time for Splatoon 1 and 2. So they throw in a third idol. Obviously, the popularity isn't going to be split evenly between all three. There's always going to be that one idol who's the least favorite for like the majority of people. And Big Man, he's kind of just like a third wheel. He kind of just feels out of place. There's nothing really too striking or interesting about him on the surface. Like, the more you learn about him, the more personality he gets, I guess. But overall, in the grand scheme, if you just showed people a picture of Deep Cut, 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose Frye or Shiver over Big Man as like who they like the most. And even quite literally during the Splatcast, he's just in the back. He's just behind the TV. I understand because he's huge and everything and he needs all that space. But he's just kind of covered up by the TV. So if you look at the Splatcast set, you have Frye and Shiver right there, like front and center, and then Big Man's hiding behind the TV. So he's easy to miss and kind of forgettable if he's like always back there and not constantly up front to where you can clearly see him. And just another thing that kind of plays into that is that Frye and Shiver, they have these very bright matching colors. Shiver's all about like a deep blue, while Frye is like a bright yellow. Although Shiver or Big Man's theme color is red, he doesn't really wear a whole lot of red. He's just this big gray manta ray, which that also plays into it. But considering the theme of Splatoon 3, like the main primary colors are purple and yellow, you know, Shiver and Frye kind of match that very well. So they fit into the theming of Splatoon 3 itself, again, making them more recognizable. And another one is we've always had like Inkling or Octoling idols. Splatoon 1, Squid Sisters were both Inklings. In Splatoon 2, we had an Inkling and an Octoling, Pearl and Marina respectively, and now we have that again with Frye and Shiver, Inkling and Octoling, and then they throw in a third member who is a manta ray, and I feel that throws a lot of people off because we're so used to just having an Inkling and an Octoling as the idols with very unique and distinct designs, and then they throw in this big gray manta ray with nothing really going special on about him. So I feel like overall, Big Man doesn't really have a whole lot going for him, and he's pretty forgettable. Now, I will admit, all right, when the game first came out, I was a Big Man hater because I was tired of seeing everyone everywhere like, oh my god, Big Man, go this, that. I just thought he was very overrated and got tired of hearing people always talk about Big Man. But that was, you know, kind of a superficial thing to do. Now, I like all of the idols. I used to be a big time Shiver hater as well, as many of you may know. But, you know, naturally as a Frye fan, I have to hate Shiver. It's obligatory. But for real, I don't hate Shiver anymore. I don't like her anywhere near as much as Frye. Big Man either. I think I'd like Shiver more than Big Man. But obviously Frye is by far my favorite idol in the entire series. I like Frye more than anyone, if you couldn't already tell. But back in the early, like, first year of the game, I loved Frye and I did not like Shiver or Big Man at all. They've grown on me quite a bit. I still not the biggest fan of Shiver, but she's grown on me a little bit. 'Cause I want to try to be fair. Well, yeah, Big Man, nothing really interesting sticks out about him. I do like, though, that he does compose the music for Deep Cut. Like, all of the songs for Deep Cut, he composed them. And that's another reason why Big Man is kind of forgettable. He doesn't really have any lyrics. He doesn't sing or rap or anything. In most of the Deep Cut songs, it's always Frye and Shiver going back and forth because he's the one who produced the music. So although everyone has a role in the music, he produced it, so he doesn't really have to sing or anything for the songs. Shiver and Frye will do that as their contributing part since he composed the music. So overall, Big Man is just a very forgettable idol in the grand scheme of things. If you just think of all of the idols, Big Man would probably rank as the least popular out of all of them. All right, all 7 of the idols, Big Man would probably be the least popular, and it's for the reasons that I stated. But people have their own personal reasons as to why they would not like Big Man or whatever. I think he's funny. I think he's cool. All right, justice for Big Man. All right, he deserves some justice. All right. At first, everyone was clowning on Frye because, oh my god, big forehead. Same reason why people didn't really like Pearl. But I feel like as the games go on and get older, people start to change their minds and the characters grow on them. I guess that's why another reason Shiver and Big Man, or Shiver and Frye, are a lot more popular than Big Man is because, you would never stop hearing people talk about how big Frye's forehead is. They'd always make fun of Frye, so you wouldn't be able to forget about her since everyone's always clowning on her. And then Shiver, I mean, just look at the design. All right, I don't even have to say it. You can already tell why people like Shiver. And going along with the whole Frye thing, if everyone's clowning on Frye, then they're a lot of the time talking about how much better Shiver is compared to Frye, because Frye big forehead, look at Shiver, da 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 da. But yeah, Big Man's getting shafted. All right, Big Man got shafted. He's been treated dirty by the community. All right, justice for Big Man. He's a cool character, but I feel like he's not really interesting enough on his own to warrant the popularity that Frye and Shiver have. All right, we already knew Frye and Shiver were going to be popular, but Big Man, he kind of just feels forced or just kind of in there. Like, I know they wanted to try something new with having a third idol, maybe because Splatoon 3, they wanted to keep the theming of 3, or just to spice things up, since we've always had 2 idols. They kind of wanted to mix it up and throw a third one in there. But I feel like he was just kind of out of nowhere and feels distant from the other 2 members of Deep Cut, since he is a manta ray. Naturally, he would be very different to Inklings and Octolings, who are very similar. So yeah, there's plenty of reasons why Big Man is slept on and forgotten, but I think he's a pretty cool character, all things considered. Like, now, before I would not like him at all, but now I think he's pretty cool. He does make some straight fire though, some banger ass songs, and Liquid Sunshine is amazing. All right, he was singing in there too. I love Liquid Sunshine, one of my favorite songs. Definitely, probably my second favorite Splatfest song, right behind Ebb and Flow. But yeah, Big Man's a cool character and he deserves some more love. That's about it. I'm gonna go make a paintbrush guide now. So see you next mission and play some goddamn Splatty.